Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Kennedy half-dollar coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Please use long comments to explain coin information clearly, so we can understand it better and respond appropriately based on your comments. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're exploring one of the most iconic and patriotic coins ever made by the United States Mint, the 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar. This special coin was released to celebrate America's 200th birthday, and behind its bold design and shiny surface lies a story of pride, history, and surprising value. So listen carefully, because what might look like an ordinary half-dollar could actually be a hidden treasure sitting right in your hands. The 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar was part of the Bicentennial Coin Series, issued to honor 200 years of American independence. Unlike regular half-dollars, this one carries dual dates, 1776 and 1976, marking the nation's birth and its bicentennial celebration. The design on the reverse side is striking, showing Independence Hall in Philadelphia, the very building where the Declaration of Independence was signed. It's a beautiful tribute to freedom and unity, wrapped in the silver glow of an American coin. Now, here's where things get interesting for collectors. These coins were minted in several versions: copper-nickel for circulation and 40% silver for collectors, produced in both proof and uncirculated finishes. The silver versions, especially those made in San Francisco, instantly draw attention because of their lower mintage numbers and brilliant quality. Many people don't realize that these silver issues can hold serious value when kept in pristine, untouched condition, but the real thrill begins when we talk about the rare errors and variations. Some 1776 to 1976 half-dollars show striking differences caused by minting mistakes, such as double die obverse where the inscriptions or the lettering around Kennedy's portrait appear slightly doubled. Others have off-center strikes, creating uneven designs that make each coin unique. Collectors go wild for these errors because they're so scarce and can transform a common half-dollar into something truly rare and desirable. There are even reports of Kennedy have struck on the wrong metal planchets, a fascinating error where the coin is produced using blanks meant for another denomination. These are extremely rare and always command high prices when discovered. Another detail collectors look for is the Type 1 and Type 2 variety differences in the design, particularly in the clarity of the lettering and the sharpness of the Independence Hall details. Those subtle variations can make all the difference in value. Condition is absolutely key with this coin. While millions were made, most circulated heavily, losing their shine and fine detail over time. Only coins that remain in gem mint or proof condition still reflect their full beauty and historical significance. Collectors prize coins with deep mirror-like surfaces or sharp, frosted designs. They capture the coin exactly as it looked the day it left the mint during America's bicentennial celebration. Beyond value, this coin carries emotion, a symbol of American pride, unity, and history. Every time you hold one, you're touching a piece of the country's 200th birthday, a reminder of the journey from 1776 to 1976 and beyond. It's more than just a collectible, it's a keepsake of freedom and resilience, and that's what makes it so beloved among numismatists everywhere. Now, here's the part everyone waits for: the value. If you have a 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar in perfect uncirculated or proof condition, especially a silver version or one with a rare minting error, it could be worth as much as $7,000 in real markets and auctions. Top 2, we're diving into the world of one of America's most admired coins, the 1988 Kennedy half-dollar. It's a coin that carries the legacy of President John F. Kennedy and still captures the heart of collectors more than half a century after his passing. But here's the exciting part: some of these 1988 half-dollars hide rare details, minting errors, and varieties that could make them worth far more than 50 cents. So, listen closely and enjoy this story, because this coin might just surprise you. The Kennedy half-dollar has been one of the most iconic U.S. coins since its debut in 1964, created to honor America's beloved president after his tragic assassination. By 1988, the coin had already become a symbol of American pride and remembrance. The design, by Gilroy Roberts and Frank Gasparo, still stood strong, the powerful portrait of John F. Kennedy on the obverse, and the presidential seal with the majestic eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch on the reverse. Even after decades, this design never lost its magic. Now, the 1988 Kennedy half-dollar was struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with the P and D mint marks proudly stamped below Kennedy's neck. While millions were produced, making them common in circulation, not every coin left the mint perfectly. And that's where things get fascinating for collectors. Some 1988 half-dollars were struck with double die errors, small but visible doubling on Kennedy's profile, lettering, or the numbers and the date. These are among the most exciting finds because they're easy to miss unless you look carefully under magnification. Others have off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing or shifted, creating a one-of-a-kind appearance that instantly boosts the coin's rarity and appeal. Even more intriguing are the die cracks, small raised lines running through the coin caused by worn-out dies at the mint. These tiny imperfections give your coin its own fingerprint. No two are ever alike. Collectors love these unique features because they turn an ordinary half-dollar into a piece of minting history. There's also the rare wrong planchet error, where a Kennedy half-dollar was accidentally struck on a metal blank meant for another denomination, such as a quarter. These are incredibly scarce and valuable because they defy normal minting logic. If your coin feels lighter or looks thinner than usual, you might be holding something special. Condition matters just as much as rarity. Most 1988 half-dollars were used in everyday circulation, losing their shine over time. But coins kept untouched, still glowing with original mint luster and free from scratches or wear, are in high demand. Especially those graded MS, mint state, or proof versions produced for collectors. These showcase stunning mirror-like surfaces and sharp, frosted details that make them stand out immediately. The Kennedy half-dollar is more than just a coin, it's a tribute to hope, unity, and leadership. Collectors don't just value it for metal or rarity, but for the story it carries, a memory of one of America's most inspiring presidents. Holding a 1988 Kennedy half-dollar feels like holding a piece of American history, and that emotional connection keeps it forever popular in the collecting world. So, if you happen to have a 1988 Kennedy half-dollar, take a moment to inspect it carefully. Look for those mint marks, doubling, or off-center details. They might turn a simple coin into something truly special. Because in real market sales and auctions, these rare 1988 Kennedy half-dollars have sold for as much as $4,000. Top 3, we're talking about a fascinating and often overlooked piece of American history, the 1992 Kennedy half-dollar. It's a coin that might look ordinary at first glance, but behind its shining surface hide stories of rarity, minting mistakes, and collector excitement that make it worth much more than its face value. So, if you've got one lying around, don't skip this. Listen carefully, because that simple coin could be worth a fortune. The Kennedy half-dollar has been one of America's most cherished coins since 1964, created in honor of the late President John F. Kennedy. The design remained iconic through the years, symbolizing strength, unity, and leadership. By 1992, the U.S. Mint had been striking this coin for almost 3 decades, but this particular year brought some unique twists that collectors today still find irresistible. There were 3 main versions of the 1992 Kennedy half-dollar: the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark, the Denver Mint with a D, and the special San Francisco Proof coins with an S. While millions were made for circulation, the 1992 S-Proof coins were the real showstoppers, especially the silver proof versions that were struck on beautiful 90% silver planchets. Their sharp mirror-like surfaces and frosted designs made them instant favorites among collectors. But even among the ordinary 1992 coins, there are rare surprises. Some of these half-dollars were struck with double die errors, small but noticeable doubling on the lettering, the date, or even Kennedy's profile. These doubling effects are caused during the minting process when the die strikes the coin twice slightly out of alignment. It might sound like a small detail, but for collectors, it's pure gold. Then there are off-center strike errors, where the coin's design appears shifted or incomplete. The further off-center it is, the rarer and more valuable it becomes. And don't forget about die cracks, small raised lines across the coin that form when minting dies begin to wear out. Each one is unique, almost like the coin's own fingerprint, making every error coin one of a kind. Another extremely rare error for 1992 is the wrong planchet strike. Occasionally, a Kennedy half-dollar was struck on a quarter or foreign planchet, making it smaller, lighter, and immediately collectible. If your 1992 half-dollar looks slightly off in weight or thickness, you might just have one of these incredible minting mistakes in your hand. Condition also plays a massive role. Most 1992 Kennedy half-dollars were used in circulation and show signs of wear, but those that remain in mint state condition, bright, uncirculated, and flawless, are highly sought after. The proof versions from San Francisco, especially the silver ones, hold a special place for collectors who appreciate beauty and craftsmanship. Coins with deep cameo contrast, that sharp black and white look, are particularly desirable. Collectors love the Kennedy series not just for the metal or mint mark, but for what it represents. It's a piece of American legacy, a coin that reminds us of an era of hope and leadership. Every Kennedy half-dollar, no matter the year, carries a piece of that story, but the 1992 coins have their own hidden charm, a mix of rarity, mystery, and minting perfection that keeps people searching through pocket change and old rolls even today. So, before you spend that half-dollar or toss it into a jar, give it a close look under good light. Check the mint mark, inspect the date, and see if you can spot any oddities. Because sometimes, what looks like just 50 cents can actually be a collector's dream come true. Top 4, we're diving into one of the most iconic American coins, the 1981 Kennedy half-dollar. This coin may look like just another 50-cent piece at first, but trust me, some of these coins hide secrets that could make them worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So, if you've got one lying around, grab it and listen carefully, because this could be one of those hidden treasures sitting right in your pocket. The Kennedy half-dollar has been one of the most loved coins in U.S. history, first released in 1964 after the tragic death of President John F. Kennedy. It quickly became a symbol of hope, honor, and remembrance. By 1981, the coin had already been part of American life for nearly 2 decades, but the 1981 edition came with a few twists that collectors today find especially fascinating. Now here's the thing, the 1981 half-dollar was struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with a D, and San Francisco with an S mark for proof coins. What's interesting is that 1981 was actually the last year the U.S. Mint produced Kennedy half-dollars for circulation before switching to mint sets and collector issues for several years. That's right, most of these coins never even made it into the hands of the public. The Philadelphia and Denver coins were struck in copper-nickel composition, but the San Francisco S proof coins came in 2 types, the regular proof and the Type 2 variety, which has a sharper, clearer mint mark. The Type 2 proof is one of the most sought-after versions from this year because of its limited numbers and flawless design. Collectors are always on the lookout for errors, and the 1981 Kennedy half-dollar has a few that make it really exciting. One of the most famous errors is the double die, where parts of the lettering or date appear doubled because of a misalignment during the striking process. If you look closely at the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust" and see doubling, you might be looking at a coin worth way more than 50 cents. Another rare and valuable mistake is the off-center strike error. This happens when the coin is not properly centered during minting, creating a visible blank edge or shifted design. The more dramatic the misalignment, the higher the value. Some collectors also chase die cracks, those thin raised lines across the coin caused by worn dies, or missing clad layer errors, where the outer layer of metal is gone, revealing the copper underneath. These unique flaws make each coin one of a kind and can fetch serious attention in the market. Then there's the proof cameo appeal. The 1981 S proof coins often display a deep mirror finish with frosted designs, and collectors love that sharp black and white contrast. Coins with strong cameo or deep cameo finishes are worth significantly more, especially if they've been preserved in perfect condition. Condition matters a lot with Kennedy half-dollars. Coins graded as MS66 or MS67, that means almost flawless under magnification, can bring incredible prices at auction. And because so many 1981 half-dollars never circulated, some of these mint state examples have survived in beautiful condition, making them highly collectible today. this coin isn't just a piece of metal, it's a snapshot of American history, a reminder of a time of unity and leadership. Kennedy's profile on the coin still stands tall, representing honor, courage, and hope, and that makes every version of this coin special, no matter the year. But when you add rarity, mint errors, and pristine condition to the mix, you're talking about a true collector's gem.so. Before you overlook that old half-dollar in your coin jar or pocket, take a good look at the mint mark, inspect it under good lighting, and check for those hidden details that could make all the difference. Because the 1981 Kennedy half-dollar may look ordinary, but it's anything but. Top 5 and last unique coin, we're talking about a coin that so many people overlook, yet it carries a ton of history, mystery, and hidden value, the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar. This coin might look like an ordinary 50-cent piece, but some of these can be worth far more than you'd ever imagine, depending on their condition, mint mark, and those incredible minting errors that make collectors go crazy. So sit tight and listen carefully, because you might have one of these treasures sitting in your collection right now. The Kennedy half-dollar series began in 1964, created as a tribute to President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination. By 1973, this coin had already become an American classic, but what makes the 1973 issue truly special is how few people realize how collectible it really is. Unlike earlier issues, the 1973 half-dollar was not released for general circulation. That's right, unless it came from a mint set or proof set, you wouldn't have found this coin in your change at all. That alone gives it a touch of rarity that collectors instantly recognize. The 1973 Kennedy half-dollar was struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, with a D, and San Francisco, with an S for proofs. The regular strikes from Philadelphia and Denver were made of a copper-nickel composition, while the San Francisco Mint produced stunning proof coins with a mirror-like finish. But here's where it gets exciting. Among these coins, some incredible varieties and errors have been discovered, turning an ordinary half-dollar into a real collector's prize. One of the most popular errors to look for is the double die obverse, where parts of the design, especially the lettering like Liberty or In God We Trust, appear doubled under magnification. This happened when the die shifted slightly during production, and these coins are incredibly collectible. Another fascinating mistake is the off-center strike, where part of the design is missing or shifted toward the edge of the coin. The more dramatic the shift, the higher the coin's value. Collectors have also found examples of 1973 half-dollars with die cracks, those thin raised lines running across the coin's surface caused by worn or damaged dies. They may look like little scratches, but they're actually raised above the surface, and in some cases, they form dramatic patterns collectors call spider web cracks. Each one is unique, and that makes them extra special, but the true stars of the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar world are the proof coins from San Francisco. These mint pieces were struck with extra care, using polished dies to create that deep, mirror-like background and frosted details. If you're lucky enough to find a proof coin with a strong cameo contrast, meaning sharp white features against a shiny field, you've got something truly beautiful. Even more desirable are the deep cameo examples, which are among the most stunning proof coins ever produced. Now, let's talk about something even rarer, the missing clad layer error. These happen when part of the nickel outer layer fails to bond properly to the copper core, leaving part of the coin's surface with a reddish tone. It's a rare error that's easily visible to the naked eye, and collectors are always on the hunt for these because they stand out so clearly. Condition, of course, is everything in the coin world. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. A 1973 Kennedy half-dollar in uncirculated or proof condition can be breathtaking, showing every detail of Kennedy's portrait, the fine texture of his hair, and the majestic eagle on the reverse with crisp, bold lines. Coins graded mint state 67 or higher, or proofs with flawless surfaces, can bring serious money in today's market, but beyond all that, the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar carries emotional value too. It represents a time in America's history when the country was still honoring its fallen president, a leader who inspired hope and unity. Holding this coin is like holding a small piece of American pride, a reminder of how coins tell stories far beyond their face value. So, the next time you come across a 1973 Kennedy half-dollar, don't spend it without checking it carefully. Look at the mint mark, inspect the lettering, and check for those special proof surfaces or unique minting errors. You never know when a simple half-dollar could turn out to be something truly extraordinary. And now, here's the part you've been waiting for, the real market prices. Some rare 1973 Kennedy half-dollars, especially proof deep cameo examples and high-grade errors, have sold for as much as $5,000 at auction. So always keep your eyes open, collectors. That small piece of history in your hand could be worth a fortune. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing coin stories that turn pocket change into treasure.